Welcome back. So let's get into some coding. We are gonna start off with the print function. When you want to print something on the screen, use print function. The syntax is to type print, open parentheses, and then use either single or double quote, but don't mix them together. If you start the message with a double quote, you have to end it with a double quote also. And if you started the message with a single quote, you have to close it with a single quote also. Otherwise, the interpreter will produce an error. If you wanted to add a comment, you have to precede it with a hash or pound sign. This is a line of code that ends with a comment. And this is a comment in a line by itself. Normally use comments to add some description to the code. This is very important, as we will see later in this course. How about getting some input from the user? You use the input function. The syntax is you type input, open parentheses, and again, either use single or double quote, and then type the message that will be displayed to the user. Be careful that the end of the message need to have a space, since when the user will enter a value, it will be directly attached to the message. We will see this later, but the last character in the message have to be a space. It will not produce an error, but we need to take care about these type of things. All right, so to be able to process the user input, we have to store it somewhere. So we will have to use a variable. Variable is simply a place in memory to store some values. To declare a variable, it has to start with a letter or underscore. It cannot start with a number. It can only contain alphanumeric characters. It's also case sensitive, which means that apple is different than apple with a capital letter is different than apple that have all upper cases. Variables can have a short name like X, Y, or Z, or more descriptive name like age, car owner name, total volume, etc. For example, salary, first name, fruit. To assign a value, you just type the variable name equal to the value. This will create a variable and assign it a value. For example, salary equal 123 will assign the salary variable 123. First name will be assigned the value of Mary. One of the coolest features in Python is that you can assign multiple variables value at the same time. For example, fruit 1, fruit 2, fruit 3 will have the values apple, banana, and orange respectively. We always want to give our variables a meaningful name. So X, Y, Z as variables can be assigned the values apple, banana, and oranges in the same line. Okay. So now it's time to be introduced to the Python data types. Python has 3 data types. First type is numbers. Numbers are either integer, like 300, like 20, like 10, like 1, or float. Float is an integer with a decimal point. So any number that has a decimal point in it is a float. Okay, the next data type is Boolean. A Boolean will have either true or false values. The last data type is strings. String is a stream of characters between single quote or double quote. In the next couple of lectures, we will be dealing with different data types of Python. Thank you for watching and join me in the next lecture.